Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week so far. We have a lot of fun stuff. Some of it's already live on the site right now. We'll take some questions here in a little bit, but a lot of it's already on the site. We have the MVP pre-orders that are already there. So we've got the stock and special edition Turbulence, which if you don't know what the Turbulence is, I posted a video about it yesterday on Foundation's page, but essentially they took the idea behind like the Berg and the Range, which is the intentional puddle top, and put it on a fairway driver called the Turbulence. And so that's a 7-speed. They posted some videos of some of their pros throwing it, and it doesn't look as unusably overstable as I kind of expected, but it's obviously very, very overstable. So the pre-order for that's live. What's cool is since it's streamlined, I think the premium, the like stock one's like only $12.99 or something. So that's always a good time when you have a disc come out for a little cheaper. We also have the major line Osprey from Climo Discs dropping this week from Discmania. First off, the Sky Bros Color Glow C-Line P2X will be dropping at the Des Moines Challenge or the Discmania Challenge with Trevor and I. So stop by the Discmania booth, say what's up to us this weekend, and make sure Thursday you buy tickets to come watch the Creator Challenge we're playing in. That's going to be an absolute blast. But if you're not out there and you're here, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Horizon S-Line Glacier. Long time coming. The Glacier's finally here. That's releasing. We also have the S-Line MD1 Gannon-Burr Triumph disc and the Neo Lumen Function Super Flippy Fairway Driver dropping. Then a little bit later this week on Thursday, Latitude 64 is releasing the Grand Orbit Sweep, Opto Core and Opto Trident, which I believe the Core and the Trident are re-releases of old discs, if I'm not mistaken. I know the Trident is for sure. I'm not so certain about the Core. We also have tomorrow at 12 the Castoplast Tough, which is honestly kind of a PA3 type disc, dropping on the site. We have some new custom stamps. So we have UV Zones, ESP Passion, and Big Z Glow Buzzes with the Foundation Disc Golf Building Your Game Since 2019 stamp on them. They're dropping this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if I'm not mistaken, we also have a Hunterbird restock coming this weekend. So a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, so Friday, a lot of fun stuff on the site. Pre-orders already live. And then tomorrow and Thursday is some more fun discs dropping from House of Disc World. So had a bit of a chaotic last 12 hours or so, just to give you another peek behind the curtain, which is always what I want to do with this show, with his live stream. So obviously Imposter Disc Golf. Actually, do I want to show this? I'll show this. This will be kind of like the title sponsor reveal, if you will, but we got these in, and I think you'll be excited because Imposter, we're filming it a little less than 2 weeks away. Y'all are unfortunately going to have to wait till November to actually watch it, but we're filming it a little less than 2 weeks away. So we got in. Give me 1 second here. This is one of the things for the Airbnb to go behind. We just wanted some physical assets to have, and you can see presented by Discmania this year, which is fun. Anyways, we got all that stuff in. We got a bunch of flags for a bunch of different sponsors. I'm not going to reveal any of the other ones, but we got a bunch of flags in for the sponsors, all that fun stuff. And then last night, so again, 13 days out from everyone coming in town to film this, last night I get a message from the Airbnb I had booked saying there was some type of family emergency, basically, and so they needed to house a family member at the house we had booked, so they're going to have to cancel our Airbnb, which I had booked weeks ago. And we have, same as last year, 8 contestants coming in. We wanted them all to stay in the same house, so that sent me into a little bit of a scramble last night. Fortunately, I was able to find another house in the same budget. I think it was a little more expensive, but at this point, we couldn't. What were we supposed to do? But in the same budget, obviously still in Lynchburg, so I was able to book that this morning, but that obviously was a little stressful last 12 hours because everyone's already booking travel. So we had 8 people coming, whether there was a house to stay in or not. So now fingers crossed that this person doesn't do the same thing. I don't think they would, but yeah, that's always a little stressful because especially when we're going to be filming in the house, we have to like go through and get permission to make sure they understand like, hey, yes, there's going to be 8 people in the house, but then a few of us locally are also going to be coming in to film, and we're going to film some interviews and talking head type stuff in your house. And we want to make sure that's all approved before we just do that out of the blue. So got that taken care of. And then the other thing I've been working on a lot this morning was I recently started working with a marketing company, I guess the best way to put it, on our SEO, because I've never really done anything with our SEO. And so I had them do like full audit of our site and met with them at the coffee shop actually twice over the last week and just kind of ran through everything with them and got a good direction on like, because I knew a lot, well not a lot, but I knew like a lot of different things I could do for SEO, which SEO is search engine optimization, basically getting your site to rank higher on Google search and make sure you're showing up, the right pages are showing up for the right things when people are searching them, yada, 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 adding keywords in, all that fun stuff. And there's a bunch of information out there of what you can focus on. And I just didn't know like where was the best place to start. Cause if you just throw a bunch of stuff at it, it's just gonna be a big waste of your time. You have to be like very focused with it. And I don't know what to do. So reached out to them, had 2 great meetings. And now I have like, okay, this is what really needs to be fixed first, like a priority list of here's the 5 or 6 things that really need to be taken care of on your site. Here's the priority list of doing them. And now I just am cranking them out, implementing it. So that's going to be my life for the next few weeks. Fortunately, a lot of the bigger product, because I actually talked to this guy a few years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago. And a lot of the bigger problems we were dealing with back then were solved with the website redesign. That was one of the big reasons I wanted to do the website redesign. So a lot of the big problems were solved there. So now it's just the like little nitty gritty details, which I wish I could say was fun. It's fun to learn about, and it'll be fun to track, okay, is all the work I'm doing actually providing results? It'll be fun. That side will be fun, but the implementation, never fun. It's basically just data entry. So that'll be what I'm grinding through over the next little bit. And then trying to think what else is going on, anything else to fill you in with. I typically like to tell you, about different books I've read and so on and so forth. So before we get into the questions, I just finished, The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. I believe that's their names. And that was a great book. So I bought Undeniable by Cam Haynes, but also Go One More by Nick Bare is going to be coming in today, I believe. So I'll probably read the Nick Bare book, Go One More, first. Honestly, I'll probably crank through that this weekend. And then I'm going to read Undeniable by Cam Haynes after that. But The Dichotomy of Leadership was awesome. It basically... if it's a good like secondary follow-up book to Extreme Ownership, which I read a while ago, because it takes a lot of the concepts in there and basically dives deeper into them, shows a little more practical application, and also shows how you can go too far with a lot of it, right? That's kind of the whole point of the book is like, here's a great leadership principle, but if you take it too far in this direction, it can actually turn negative. Same thing, if you don't take it far enough, it can be negative. So you have to find that like balance is basically what the whole book's about. So it goes through several different leadership principles and basically like the pros and cons of them, if that makes sense. So that's a phenomenal book. Absolutely loved it. But let's get into some questions. For BAMC said, who's your favorite collab you've ever done? So I'm going to say these have to be collabs that like Foundation has actually been a part of or done, because the my favorite collab I've ever been a part of in general was obviously Brody getting to be on Dude Perfect and Trevor and I getting to go there. That still doesn't really feel real that we got to do that this year. But that doesn't really count because it wasn't like Foundation didn't collab, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to use that one because that's too cheap. So I think that my favorite collab video we've ever filmed was probably going to Maple Hill and playing with Simon. I think that was a lot of fun because obviously got to play Maple Hill, but it was also our first video with Simon, and we had a blast shooting with him. We filmed some stuff for his channel too. So that was just a really fun trip all around because Maple Hill was awesome. Playing with Simon was awesome. The videos from the trip, both on his channel and on our channel, did really well. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm curious when Shay gets back, because Shay's gone, for him to answer Hunter Kyle's message, because I don't know if Shay's thrown the turbulence, but Hunter was asking him. Shay's like a MVP. I don't know what he technically does with MVP. He's not like officially employed by them or anything, but he is very tied to MVP. So I don't know if he has a chance to have thrown it yet, but I'm excited to hear his response because I'm very curious how the turbulence is going to fly. But yeah, Trevor's last video makes me wonder, do you guys ever fear all the videos you make, all the videos will make you lose your love of disc golf? Do you ever fear all the videos will make you lose your love of disc golf? Not really. I think that there's definitely been different seasons of, now, some videos make you lose your love of disc golf in the moment. There'll actually be one that comes out relatively soon that you'll see I have no love for the sport in the middle of, because I'm getting my teeth absolutely kicked in by the course. But I think that's a situation like Trevor did Polecat only at New London. You're just not going to have fun doing that. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way around it. Like same thing we've talked about doing Zone OS only at like Independence or something. Like it's a punishment for a reason. You're not going to have fun. But that doesn't affect your overall feeling of the sport. It might make you not want to throw a disc for a day or two, but it doesn't make you like not like the sport. And then I think with how often we play disc golf and with disc golf being our jobs, like how often we are just in it and surrounded by it, I think everyone has little ebbs and flows where sometimes it's like you feel and realize how like exciting it is that you get to work in this industry and you get to do what you love basically for a job when it comes to playing disc golf. And in those moments, you're like super passionate, super driven, you know, you can't get enough. You want to be putting new discs in your bag. You want to be testing out new stuff. Like you have that feeling like when you first got into the sport. And then other times it feels like work. And everyone kind of ebbs and flows like that. But fortunately, it seems that we are on different schedules. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times if one of us is getting a little burnt out, the other one is on the like having a blast. And so it really... That's why I think it works so well that we have so many different personalities, because we've never been in a situation yet where like everyone's burnt out at the same time or everyone is sick of whatever at the same time. And it just comes and goes. Similar to like I've been running consistently for 4 years now, 3 or 4 years now. But there's some days where I wake up and I'm super excited to go run. And there's some days where the last thing on earth I want to do is go run. But that's how everything is. You know, it ebbs and flows that I think that, you know, some days you're super excited, some days you don't love it. But it is what it is. Wyatt Wood said, do we plan on doing disc east or south? We're going to go at least one. But we might go to both, to be honest with you. But yeah, we're for sure go to at least one, probably for sure disc south, because obviously that's in Brody's backyard and it makes it very easy logistically for us. Man, I'm tired. But we'll probably end up going to both because disc east we've never been to. It's a little bit bigger. We can drive up there. So we'll probably end up going to both this year, but I'm not positive. Disc Seeker said, are you excited for the big team battle coming up with Brody as your teammate? Yeah, I'm stoked. That's the Creator Challenge Thursday in 2 days. I'll be flying out to Des Moines tomorrow. Um, so I'm really excited for that. You can watch it live on the Disc Golf Pro Tours YouTube channel. Should be like 7 p.m. Eastern, if I had to guess, because I think we start at 6 p.m. Des Moines time, and I don't know how far behind they are. But yeah, very excited. Very excited for it. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. Dronal said, will there be a new Break 68 series on the new London? At some point, it probably won't be Break 68. Par out there now is 69. After playing it a few times, I think that breaking 69 is possible. I think what's funny is, I think if I was hitting my lines like really well, I could probably score better at this one. But if you're slightly off, I think there's almost more blow up potential for a player like me, because if I do miss, I'm typically gonna miss pretty close to the tee. And if you miss close to the tee on this course, because like on old New London, the majority of the holes, there wasn't a close to the tee miss. If you grip locked, you're probably going OB or going off the fairway a few hundred feet down. Now, if I grip lock, I am hitting a tree. It's possibly within the first 100 feet, maybe even the first 50 feet off the tee. And then the scrambling, the woods aren't really played in yet, which makes sense because it just opened. So the scrambling's very, very difficult. So I think if it was a situation where I was puring my lines, like hole 1, 2, 3 are all gettable. Hole 4 I think is gettable, but I haven't done it yet. Hole 5 I could get. 6, 7, 8 I could not. 9 I could. 10 I could. The back 9 gets really blurry. But I mean, even right there, I'm already 8 holes I could birdie. I think it'd be similar to the old course where like probably 15 of the holes I'm capable of birdieing. But the difference would be like, I think that some of the holes, if you're hitting the fairway, are easier to birdie because it's not as much of like just grip and rip, but a lot of the holes are way easier to bogey. So I think there will be another Break 69 series at some point. I don't know when it'll probably start after Connor breaks 60 at Camp Hideaway, and we'll probably do the same thing where like we cap it at a year. So we try to get a year challenge, and then if it don't do it by then, we'll switch to someone else's, and then if they don't do it within a year, we'll switch back to mine. That's the type of thing we'll do. So, but I see it being a very long series because like right now, I have to learn the course. I'm not anywhere close to 69. Similar to when I started Break 68. I think my first round was like an 84 in that series or something. But yeah. Chef Boyar Steve, great name. Have you guys ever done a community full bag sponsor? Let the community buy/sponsor each mold in your bag. Seems like it'd be a good way to raise money for charity. We've never done that. That is an interesting idea. Very interesting idea. That would be a good way to raise money for charity. Huh. I like that idea. I'll write that down. We have a foundation. We call it the Foundation Think Tank. I'm going to submit that idea. Because the only tough part is like how long do we have to use the bag for? I don't know. We'll figure that out. Community sponsored bag for charity. I like that idea. Nope. Wyatt Wood said, any update on y'all's plans this year for Black Friday? So we haven't had our official like Black Friday planning meeting yet. But we always, after any type of big release, big event like Black Friday, we always have a post meeting where we talk through, okay, this is what went really well. This is what didn't go well. All of that. And so we had that meeting obviously months ago, and we are for sure switching up how we're doing the mystery boxes this year. And I think that it's going to be, I'm sure I think it's been done in a similar way before, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's going to be the best mystery box. It's the best mystery boxes we've ever done. I'm very confident in that. I'm not going to say it's the best mystery box that's ever done in disc golf because I don't have enough information to know that, but I know 100% confident the mystery boxes for Black Friday this year will be the best we've ever done. And I think that getting all the feedback from last year and knowing what people are really looking for in the mystery boxes, I think it'll blow people out of the water, blow people away. Yeah, very excited about that. Okay, Shay has not thrown the turbulence yet, but hopefully we'll get to throw it soon. You'll have to update us, Shay. For BAMC said, what motivated you guys to make a foundation golf channel? So it's kind of twofold. I talked about it some on here. The big driver was it allows us to play golf as part of our job. That's a big driver because obviously we don't get to play much golf if we don't do it. So that's a big one. But then the other thing is to just kind of continue to grow and expand foundation in different ways. So I think the golf channel is a way where hopefully it picks up enough traction that we can bring in another personality into the golf channel world. And then hopefully at that point spin up to weekly uploads for the golf channel, with us still being able to do just like every other week we're in it type thing. And then hopefully from there grow the golf channel and continue to build out foundation sports, if you will, with obviously disc golf being the center foundational piece, if that makes sense. So yeah, but the big motivation and what it's being successful at is basically cover the cost of editing, cover the cost of the rounds so that we can play golf once a month. And it's doing very well at that. So it's serving its purpose right now. Gary said, punishments seem like a tough thing to manage. They're entertaining, but you have to be careful of boxing yourself into a point where they become expected, or worse, you need to keep upping the ante. Yeah, I think, there's some punishments that, like, they just will always suck and you always don't want to do. And I think that the key is you have to genuinely not want to do the punishment for it to affect the round in a positive way. Because there's been some punishments before where, like, that's not that bad. And then during the round, it's hard. Like, we just don't really care. And there's some that are just always going to affect that, which is like an ice bath, right? Or where is it that bad? No. Will I ever just want to really, really want to do that? No. And so if you have that on the line or hot sauce, the hot sauce level doesn't have to keep going up for it to be a punishment for me. So like stuff like that where we really don't want to, that's what makes it the most entertaining. Even if it's like, oh, that's, who gives a rip? I could take an ice bath every day for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter what you could do. It's how it affects us. And so I think that's kind of the line we ride with punishments is some punishments are made for entertainment, like some of the Peaksview ones we've done. And those are fun. But we're not a punishment channel. Like, we're not trying to one up. Like, that's not our whole point of our content. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, the only thing that makes our content watchable is how crazy the punishment are. So we've got to keep going up and up. So I'm not too worried about that. But punishments, I think, do make it more interesting for certain challenges. Finn said, you and Trevor should run Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, Minnesota, one of the best run marathons and half marathons out there. And they film content and then film it in northwestern Minnesota. So many good courses. Grandma's Marathon is very popular, I think, because it's net downhill. So, yeah. Oh, Gary said the Foundation boys are getting their own mystery box soon. That doesn't sound like something I want any part of, Gary. Noah Castellani said, hey, Hunter, it's been a while since I've been on the mailbag. Are the Heiser Club Championship dates out yet? Yes, they actually should have just been posted on Patreon by themselves as a post. And I think they should also be emailed out to everyone who is able to make it. I don't know if Jason wants me saying them publicly. I don't know why that would be a negative thing. But they're in November. We'll say that. But yeah, if you go on Patreon, there's a post out there on Patreon you'll be able to see. And if you're qualified for it within the next week or two, you'll get an email. So. Sax Whale says, since you and Trevor are both running, a content idea is do alt shot double speed run of your local courses. We want to do a speed golf video. We've wanted to for a while, actually. But the problem is just the filming of it, figuring out how to film it. We just can't quite figure that one out. Mainly, like, obviously we could just film it with the GoPro and us running, but like that's not going to be that great. And then if we film it with like the real camera, well, now someone has to follow us, or we can do it like hole by hole, but then it kind of takes away. So, because like what we want to do is like true speed golf, where basically it's like your score plus your time is your score. Lowest overall wins. So you can take some more time to focus on the strokes, or you can not worry about the strokes and just go as fast as possible. There's like some strategy there. It's a really good idea. It's just how do you film it? That's the part we keep getting struggled on. So. Roman said, do I feel the Euro market gets too downplayed within USA disc golf scene? Often we seem to hear how this country's so small, who cares that the Nordic country treats disc golf as an actual pro sport. I've never heard that. I think that all of us, at least most people I'm talking about or have talked to, I think it's very cool to see other cultures embrace disc golf wholeheartedly. I do think that one of the reasons it happens is the size, because I think that niche sports are a lot of times just a lot more welcomed over there because they just don't have the big market sports taking over as much of their real estate like in the U.S. I think the hard part is if you have, and these numbers aren't going to be accurate, but you have 100,000 people population that 50% of them play disc golf, right? And it's like, holy cow. Like, yeah, disc golf is massive in there. There's 50,000 customers, right? Half the population. Versus you have 1 million people population and only 10% of them play disc golf. Disc golf's tiny, right? Very small. But that's 100,000 people. There's twice as many people. So disc golf seems like a much bigger deal in the 100,000 people that 50% of them play, and it's going to be treated much bigger. But the problem is the pool of revenue is smaller than in the other area where there's more people, even though less of them play. And I think that's kind of from my understanding and what I've seen, that's kind of what's going on, is like disc golf is a blip on the radar in the U.S., but the U.S. market drives so much more sales and is so many more players just straight numbers wise, even though it's treated so much smaller, versus the European market. A lot of times it is treated a lot more legit. You walk into stores and there's actual disc golf sections and stuff, but it's a much smaller percentage of the actual customer base, if that makes sense. So yeah. Because I think also you got to look at the growth potential. If it's already a massive deal in some of these countries, and it's smaller than the like head-to-head sales of the U.S., and then in the U.S. it's not a big deal at all. Like the most famous disc golfers in the world can walk around a Walmart and get recognized maybe once a week, if even. Like you're not gonna, and at that it's probably because of their YouTube video. You're not like all of a sudden, it's not some massive thing. So it's very small over here. You also have to look at the market potential of that, of how much growth could happen, versus if it's already a big deal, there's not nearly as much growth potential, if that makes sense. So, yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. Nathaniel Morgan said, how do I get started in running? I've been struggling to push myself to start running, but I've always wanted to get back to it. You just got to start slow. I think that's the key. It's going to be the hardest to start in the summer because, I mean, it just sucks to go outside right now. But I would definitely recommend getting a watch that can monitor your heart rate. And as you're running, just peek down at it here and there and keep that thing around 150, below 150 ideally. But when you're first starting out, I know that can be really hard. But around 150, keep that heart rate low. go as slow as you need to, run, walk it, because what that'll allow you to do is, A, running won't suck, because you'll be able to maintain that pace for a mile pretty easily. B, you'll be able to go farther quicker. So not quicker as in the amount of time it takes you to run that, but quicker as in a few weeks from now, you'll be able to run 3 miles at that pace, and then whatever, and you'll see that progress, and that progress is going to feel a lot better. And then as you do that more and more, your aerobic base will build. You'll get a little faster. You can work in speed work, and that's when the time really starts falling off. And then you can have some runs that suck, some runs that are easy, mix them together, and your pace will start picking up. But just start super easy. Super, super, super easy. Okay. Let me get some more questions coming in. Ooh, Ian said, are we going to film any additional content while in Des Moines? Yes, we are. We're going to film quite a bit of content. So I think I can cover all this. Thursday morning, this is all weather permitting. So don't get too caught up on this because the weather looks iffy. It's going to be very spotty out there. But ideally, Thursday morning, we're going to get a video with Brody, Ezra, and Trinity, our team foundation people. Then Thursday midday, we're going to get a video with, I believe, a few of the Discmania guys. I know Gannon, and I think Gavin. But some of the Discmania guys midday on Thursday. Then obviously Thursday night will be in the Creator Challenge. Friday morning, we're going to do a collab with one of the creators there. And then Saturday morning, we're going to do a video of some type. I don't know if it'll end up being a collab or just Trevor and I. And then somewhere in the mix there, we're going to play a mini golf round for our golf channel. There's this crazy looking mini golf place we're going to go to. So that'll also kind of be mixed in there for the golf channel. So that'll end up being 2 Thursday, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, and a golf video. So 5 videos while we're up there total. But yeah. Do I have a stretch routine before I play a disc golf round? Not an intense one, but yeah, I definitely stretch. I started stretching before disc golf. It depends on the round. Like if I'm playing a serious round or a round at like New London, I'm going to stretch every time. If I've already ran that day and my body feels kind of loose, I might not stretch. If we're just playing a pitch and putt, I might not really stretch. But for the most part, I stretch before every round and have for a while. All right, we'll do a few more questions, then I am going to get back to it. Oh, my neck. I got so many knots in my neck, it's ridiculous. There's a lot of chat on YouTube about MVP production and stock. I think the toughest... not toughest part, but like it's not just MVP. There's a lot of companies that are like this where they have 1 or 2 really hot molds. Like for MVP, the trail right now is obviously very hot, and they just dropped the Fission trail. The Tempo was like that for a while. For Discraft, the Sagara, the Passion's always been like that. I'm sure I'm missing other ones, but I think part of the problem is you see like those hot discs will sell really fast, and then as they are like still restocking some of the other stuff, it's like the Neutron Trail, just stock Neutron Trail might be out of stock for a little bit. I don't actually know. It's out of stock on our site right now, but I don't know if it's actually out of stock on MVP. That was just my example. Similar with like the Sagara is you might be a little bit till you see a stock Sagara again. Even if so much other stuff is getting restocked, it's like people just take the entire, nothing's in stock from them because they mean I want to get this one disc and I can't. But yeah, Doc wants to know if we're doing more Bogey Bro battles. Yes, we just did one. We just posted one from our Raleigh trip. I think we're going to film another one here soon, and then we're going to film a few more this off season. So, oh, my back. Yeah. We will have more. It's not going to be nearly as frequent as it used to be. Like, we're not doing 2 a month anymore. But we will have a few kind of spread out, like a few a quarter, I think is a good pace to kind of see. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Check out the pre-orders already live on the site for all the new MVP releases, especially the Turbulence from Streamline Disc. Very fun new disc. Also, we have a bunch of stuff from House of Discs dropping over the next few days, and then we have some new Foundation Disc Golf stamped Discraft coming on Friday, and I believe the Hunterbird restock is also happening this week, so Hunterbirds should be back Friday as well. And if you're in Des Moines or anywhere near Des Moines or could fly to Des Moines, get out there Thursday, watch us in the Creator Challenge. That's going to be an absolute blast. And then at the Discmania booth, Friday, Saturday, and I believe at the Fly Mart, check out our spin on the old Sky God stamp. You have Trevor and I, the Sky Bros, which is very funny stamp, on Color Glow C-Line P2Xs. Great flyers. You can view it on Foundation Disc Golf's Instagram if you want to see the stamp and see all of that. So that'll be dropping exclusively at the Discmania Challenge this weekend. We'll see you out there, and then I'll be back here again next week. Talk to you then.